The little boy, Samuel, was frightened. The Biggs, that is what he called grown-ups, were not telling him anything. He wondered why they thought he was stupid. All he could pick up were worried voices about his mother. She had to go to the hospital because she was having a baby and there were issues. Samuel was rushed off to Grammy's house until his mom and dad came home. Even his grandmother's house was full of scary things Samuel didn't understand, like why he wasn't allowed in one room, why odd sounds were coming from inside, and weird beeping noises that made him run by the door in fear. Grammy was nice, though. She always had cookies and a smile for him. She would help him climb the old live oak in the backyard. Its massive limbs were so heavy they would bend down, touching the ground as if it were tired. Samuel played, but he always noticed she would keep the back door open. She was listening to the odd sounds coming from the room. On the second day, Grammy caught Samuel looking at the door. His eyes were wide with fear. She took his hand and spoke softly to him. "I know you're afraid, Samuel. I know you want your mom and dad. You want to go home. I don't blame you. I love my own bed too. I know you're afraid of the room. But if you are brave, I'll show you what's in there. Are you brave?" Samuel thought for a long while before he nodded. Inside, his heart was racing. He wanted to go and hide behind their large antique sofa, but his mother had taught him that hiding from scary things really didn't work. The scary things would find us anyway. It's better to face them and get it over with. Samuel nodded again, grabbing her wrinkled, soft hand. The door creaked open, and in the center of the room was a tall bed, and someone was lying there. The body lying in the bed had tubes running all over like spider webs, and the blue light emanated from the machines that produced the strange beeping noises. From Samuel's height, he was looking at the man's hand covered in blue veins, and the pipes were stuck into them covered with tape. His grandmother dragged a wooden chair over and helped Samuel into it so he could see the man's face. He was still afraid because the man wouldn't open his eyes. "This is your grandpa, Samuel." "I'm Samuel," he said in surprise. "Yes, your name came from his name. Your grandpa was so proud when your parents told him they had named you Samuel after him. This is your special connection. You probably don't remember. You were so little, but Grandpa used to love carrying you on his shoulders and reading you bedtime stories. He loved it when you would ask him hard questions, always laughing. He wanted to teach you how to fish, show you his old car, and take you to the ice cream shop. But he got sick. Don't be afraid. That is what happens sometimes as we get older. Just know he has always loved you so much." Samuel was afraid, but he faced his fear and reached out to touch his grandfather's hand. To his surprise, it was warm and soft like his grandmother's. "I'll try to remember," he promised. That night, Samuel was tucked into the guest bedroom's big bed. Grammy sat beside him, patting the back of his hand. "I talked to your dad, and he said things were going well. He said for us not to worry. Can you do that for me?" She smiled at the little boy. "Why can't I talk to Mama?" he asked as worry creased his tiny brows. "Well, I think she is very tired and was sleeping. I'll try to let you talk to your parents tomorrow. How is that? Now let's get some sleep. I'll leave this light on so you are not afraid, and my door is right across the hall if you need me." Grammy kissed the top of his head and left him thinking. The grandfather's clock that ticked away outside his door chimed 12 times as Samuel's door opened slowly and an old man peeked in, smiling. The little boy had not been sleeping soundly. All the noises, like the ticking clock and the beeping machines, made it hard to sleep. Samuel leaned up in bed and rubbed his tired eyes. "I thought you were sick." I am, but sometimes I sneak out. Don't tell your grandmother. She worries all the time. I wanted to be the one to tell you. Your mother, my sweet daughter, is fine. The baby is here with no problems." Samuel cheered, and Grandpa put a finger over his lips to quiet him. "Don't wake your grandmother." Samuel nodded, covering his mouth to swallow down a laugh of excitement. "Come with me. I want to show you something." Samuel jumped out of bed and let his grandfather help him into his robe and slippers. They snuck down the hall, past the room with the beeping noises, and out into the old garage behind the house. There was a beautiful car painted bright red with silver bumpers and flashy lights everywhere. Grandpa Samuel opened the door with a heavy squeak. "This car was given to me by my Grandpa Samuel, and I'm giving it to you. You don't understand now, but you will one day." The old man reached and opened the glove box, taking out a piece of paper. Samuel wasn't very good at reading yet, but he recognized his name. "See, this was your great-great-grandpa Samuel, and this is my name here on this line. But I have written in your name here. This car is yours. I hope you love it one day." "I do, Grandpa. I'll remember." Samuel looked at his name on the paper and smiled up at him. His grandpa folded the piece of paper and placed it into the pocket of Samuel's robe. "Now, are you ready to go fishing?" "Fishing?" Samuel smiled with excitement. They got out of the car, and his grandpa pointed at the small fishing rod hanging on the wall. "That is your new fishing rod, and this is your new tackle box. I bought these for you before I got sick and wasn't able to give them to you for your birthday, but today is the day." Grandpa Samuel laughed and gave him a hug around his shoulders. He opened the tackle box and pointed out fishing lures, floats, and many things Samuel didn't understand. "Don't worry, I'll show you my favorite spot to fish." They walked down the dark street, the lights on the lamppost lighting their way. They passed an ice cream parlor on the corner, and he looked down at Samuel. "Would you like some ice cream?" Grandpa Samuel asked. "The store is closed, Grandpa," Samuel said, disappointed. Grandpa Samuel laughed. "This is a magical night," he said, and pulled out a cone of ice cream from behind his back. Samuel hopped with excitement. "Cupcake and sprinkles! How did you know it was my favorite?" "It's funny. I seem to know many, many things now that I didn't know before. Let's hurry. The sun will be up soon, and Grammy will yell at us if we're not back." They went to the edge of the lake, and Grandpa Samuel showed him how to carefully put the lure on the end of the long, clear string. Now, fish can hear through your hands. Sound goes through your hands, down the pole, into the fishing line. Fishing is a time to think, a time to remember. Remember what, Grandpa? The little things in life that in the end are the most important. Like the way I taught your mama how to fish when she was your age, and this moment now. "I'll remember." He smiled up at him. "And remember this. I will be by your side and your mama's always. Can you remember that and tell your mother when she comes home? And tell her I love her very, very much. I'm so proud of both of you. You can tell her tomorrow when we call." "Well, I'll try." He smiled. The pole began to wiggle, and the two Samuels laughed as Grandpa showed him the proper way to bring in a fish. The large catfish was cold and wiggly. Now there are 3 kinds of fish. The babies and the mamas we always put back. But this beauty is big enough to eat. If you're not going to eat it, you must put it back gently. "I'll remember," Samuel said, putting the fish on the end of his stringer as they walked home. "You know, when my grandpa taught me how to fish, I did not catch a one." Sometimes that is the way life goes. If that happens when you are fishing, don't get discouraged. You'll get one the next time. That's why it's called fishing, not catching, for a reason. He laughed. Samuel laughed out loud, showing him the big fish. I caught one this time. Yes, you did, and it's a beauty. Oh, yes, I have something to tell you. You now have a baby sister named Grace. She's beautiful. Grandpa Samuel smiled with joy. You'll have to be gentle with her for a while, but one day when she grows up, maybe you can show her how to fish. You can show her, Grandpa. Samuel smiled as they walked to the back door. I'll be there, but you will have to show her. You seem to be a natural. Grandpa Samuel put his finger to his lips to keep him quiet and took the fish, placing it into the refrigerator. Ask Grammy to clean and cook it for you when she wakes up. Samuel placed his fishing things into the hall closet and ran to his room. At the door, he looked back at his grandpa waving. The older man waved back, smiling as he floated through the door into the scary room. Samuel quietly entered the guest room, shutting the door as softly as he could, falling into bed, happy but suddenly very sleepy. The morning came too early. Samuel rubbed his tired eyes as he climbed out of bed, put on his robe and slippers. Climbing up to the breakfast table, he leaned against his hand to hold himself upright. Samuel, why do you have dark circles under your eyes? Did you not sleep? No, I played with Grandpa all night. Grammy's hand shook as she turned to put oatmeal in front of him, looking at him strangely. What is all over your robe? Oh, I dropped ice cream on it, Samuel said. Grandpa used magic and got it for me. He knew my favorite flavor, cupcake with sprinkles. Samuel, you must have dreamed it, she said, the color draining from her face. What's all over your slippers? Oh, he took me fishing, and we walked through the wet grass and mud. I caught a fish, my first try. You must have dreamed it, she said, again watching him eat. No, the fish is in the refrigerator. It was so fun. He gave me a fishing pole and what he called a tackle box. I can't wait to go with him again. I'm starving and began eating his cereal. Grammy walked to the refrigerator, her hand shaking as she peeked in, slamming the door closed as the fish stared back at her. She poured herself a cup of hot coffee and sat down beside him, slumping. She took several hot drinks of coffee, not even feeling it burn her tongue.
What else did Grandpa say? She asked nervously. Oh, he gave me this. Samuel pulled the piece of paper out of his pocket and handed it to her. She unfolded the piece of paper and saw it was the title to the old car in the garage. Samuel's name was written in blue ink on the page. He gave me the car, told me to love it as much as he does. I think I will, except I'm too little right now. Maybe later. He finished his cereal as Grammy poured some orange juice into his cup. Her hand was shaking as she accidentally poured a bit on the table, hurrying to clean it up. The phone rang, and Grammy jumped, running to the phone. She handed the phone to him. It's your mom. Mama, you had a little girl and you named her Grace? When are you coming to get me? Samuel smiled with excitement. His mother's voice hesitated on the other end of the phone. Samuel, dear, how did you know the baby was a girl and we just named her a few minutes ago? Oh, Grandpa told me. I love you. When are you coming to get me? Grandpa took me fishing and I caught what he called a catfish. It doesn't look like a cat to me, except it does have whiskers. He made me promise to teach Grace how to fish. I said I would. Oh, and he said to tell you he loves you very much. Grammy wants to talk to you. Samuel handed his grandmother the phone as he heard his mother crying at the other end, and his grandmother was crying too. He ran down the hall to put on his play clothes, excited about the day. He heard his grandmother telling his mom about the fish in the refrigerator. She mentioned that Grandpa Samuel's health had been the same for months. I don't know how, but it happened, his grandmother said through her tears. Samuel's hand was cold as he braved his grandfather's room by himself. He opened the door and peeked inside to see his grandfather still in bed. Grandpa Samuel hadn't moved, still connected to all the machines keeping him alive. The wooden chair scraped the floor loudly as he moved it closer, climbed up, and looked at his grandfather's peaceful face. "Grandpa Samuel, you came to see me, didn't you? Are you a ghost?" His grandfather didn't move.
He smiled, holding the warm hand in his small one. I had a wonderful time. I told Mama what you said, and she cried. Thank you for coming to see me, and thank you for all the presents. Still, his grandpa didn't move or open his eyes, but he knew that he had heard his words. I love you, Grandpa. The hand he was holding slowly squeezed his fingers, and Samuel smiled. His heart felt warm. He had been given a tremendous gift. Not the things his grandpa had given him, but the time he had with him. Years passed, and every time Grandpa Samuel's name was spoken, everyone would look at him. They would tell ghost stories about the time the ghost of Grandpa came to teach a little boy how to fish. Some would say it was a ghost, but he knew it was real. And every time the now-grown Samuel would go fishing with his little sister Grace, he would tell her that Grandpa was with them. She would always laugh at the part when Samuel would tell her that Grandpa said she was a beautiful baby and he knew her name before anyone else. And even when they didn't catch a fish, he would laugh and remind her, like Grandpa Samuel said, that's why they call it fishing, not catching.